Wagwan, everybody. I am your Jamaican Queen, Miss Y. You are tuned into How I See It TV. And this is just a quick How I See It live. I'm going to give y'all a few minutes to get in here. Let me check this. I'm still trying to get acclimated with this new streaming app that I've been using. But please remember to like, share, subscribe, follow me on Instagram and Twitter, now called X, at How I See It, and on TikTok at How I See It TV. Now, I just want to say real quickly, y'all, that we need to normalize having an understanding that a woman can be completely done with a man, can be completely done with a friendship, can be completely done with whatever the negative situation is that she was once in. She can be completely done with it. But if in real time she is currently being stalked, being harassed, being trolled, being disrespected by the people she left in the past, it is okay for that woman or even that man. It's okay for them to speak up and speak publicly about the situation. It's 2025. We are no longer sweeping stuff under rugs. We are no longer keeping secrets. In 2025, we are not protecting people who are doing us harm by not telling the truth about what they are doing to us when the rest of y'all aren't looking. And this goes for exes, romantic exes. This goes for ex-best friends. This goes for ex-companies that you used to work for. Whatever the situation is, I've seen these memes where people say, oh, I've protected a lot of people by not telling my side. Guess what? 2025 and beyond, yeah, people are out here telling their sides. Because truth be told, no matter how much grace you give people, no matter how much coverage you still give people who have done you wrong, they are never grateful. They are never grateful. There are too many women out here who have been unalived by deranged exes because, sorry y'all, because they were trying to protect that ex for the sake of the kids. They were trying to protect that ex because of his job. They were trying to protect that ex because you didn't want to hurt, your former family, members or in-laws. And you give grace and you give grace and you give grace. And because you don't tell your side of the story, people run with a narrative that you're the evil one and that you're bitter and that you're the one that's not letting go. And whole time you're fighting a whole demon who has them thinking that you're the problem. Well, in 2025, more women are speaking up. And Melody Cherie is one of those women who is speaking up. No longer protecting people who do not deserve the grace that she has extended over the years. Now, I didn't catch that TikTok live yesterday, but shout out to Chef Don Don because he was the first content creator when I hopped on. I left work yesterday and I hopped on YouTube to, just do my regular routine of just listening to something as I'm driving home. And I heard, Chef Donna, he was going off. And I was like, wait, what happened? And so by the time I got home and I got to see the full clip of what Melody shared on her TikTok, I was like, I know this man is effing lying. You pleaded guilty because let's be clear, accurate context. He pleaded guilty to harassment. And what we saw based on what Melody showed us in that video of him driving by her and speaking to her and talking about fix your head and fix your face and don't look at me like that and all of that, that is harassment. So you plead guilty to harassing her. And after that case is over, what you do is you go outside and start the harassment again with your bird in the vehicle with you who didn't have enough sense to say to you, hey, why are you driving around trying to bother her? She's not bothering you. The case is over. You just pleaded guilty for harassment. Don't drive up on her talking to her crazy. But the bird is a bird brain. And I feel like that is too generous. That is too kind because there are a lot of smart birds out here. Back in the day, they used to use messenger pigeons. So a lot of birds out here are really smart. So I think it's too kind to call her a bird brain. But obviously, her self-esteem is lower than some kitten heels to sit up in that car and watch as your, I guess, supposedly man's ex is walking, minding her business, and he is circling and circling and circling, trying to speak to her. And you're watching this go down, and your self-esteem doesn't say, you know what? When he drops me home, I need to get the hell on. Girl, God has been telling you to go for years and years now, coleslaw. And clearly you're not listening to the call. Because you have to have low self-esteem to sit and watch that man do that. And you don't think to yourself, this is crazy. I was just in the courtroom with him, listening and watching as he pleaded guilty to harassing her. And what is he doing right now? Harassing her again. Obsessed. Well, both of them are obsessed with Mel. It's crazy and it's sickening. And what's even more sad are the people who are like, well, why is Melody giving them light? She's not giving them light. What she's doing is publicly documenting how he is still harassing her. There's a difference. People who are saying, oh, why are you still talking about him? You need to let go. She been let go. A long time ago. He's still stuck. Wanted to be attached to her so badly that he wanted to drag her through courts in an attempt to take their children from her. Sending threatening messages about putting Revenge P out. And then heartbreaking to hear Melody say in that live yesterday how he punched her, how he pulled a pow-pow on her and told her how he has thought about unaliving her and how he will do it, and how after he punched her, he wrote a letter apologizing to her for it, and she still has that. And I'm guessing because she mentioned the Nobody's Business song and video, and we saw in that video how there was a portrayal of an assault in an elevator, that we can just assume that that was something that actually happened. And yeah, and some people were on that live acting like they don't understand why she needs to speak publicly about somebody who is clearly unhinged. Clearly, because you have to be unhinged to have just pleaded guilty for harassment, but then outside of the courthouse, you're continuing the harassment. So yes, let Melody speak. Let women like Melody speak. There's a lady, may her soul rest in peace, Latrice Denise, I forgot her last name, I apologize. But the story came out on August 25th, 2025. That's less than a week ago, or less than 2 weeks ago. She was a hospital worker in Detroit. She divorced her ex-husband in 2018. They got married in 2012 and they got divorced in 2018. And for years, she has been trying to get an order of protection. She was begging the authorities in Detroit for a protection order because she was in fear of her life. She said, please do something before the situation got worse, and they didn't listen. And he went to her job and unalived her. They've been divorced for 7 years. 7 years they've been divorced. And whatever cuckoo craziness was in that man's brain, he decided to unleash it and to take her life. And she was begging authorities in Detroit to do something to help her, because she felt like the situation would escalate. And they did nothing. Now they're doing investigations to see what happened and why she didn't get the order of protection when she went in several times to apply for it. And maybe she's one of those women who was telling his family and telling his friends and telling people, he's crazy, he's arrested me, he's doing this, he's doing that. And people were calling her bitter and telling her that she needs to let go and telling her that she's the one that's crazy. And now people are saying, oh my God, we didn't know that it was that serious. What do you mean? She was telling y'all that it was that serious. She was begging the police officers to grant her that protection order. And just like Melody said, those people in the courthouse were going to tell her, oh, we didn't hear him threaten you. That's not the point. The point is, she just left the courthouse and this man just said, I plead guilty for harassment, and y'all are watching a video of him clearly harassing her. Do something. Do something about it. Because clearly he doesn't care. Clearly he feels like he just got away with something. He just got away with a slap on the wrist. So now he feels like he's above the law and he can do whatever he wants. Because That's why he pulled up on her. That's why he pulled up on her. Because he felt like, man, I just got a slap on the wrist for harassing her. Them people in the courthouse don't really care for real, for real. So now I'm going to bother her more. And just like that lady in Detroit, them officers weren't listening. People weren't listening. Y'all better start listening when women are documenting and coming with proof upon proof upon proof upon proof upon proof of somebody's bad behavior. Y'all better stop calling women bitter every time they come out and they talk about what an ex is currently doing to them. Stop telling women to let it go when they're telling you present day, this clown is still doing crazy stuff to me. And because it's in the shadows, y'all just feel like, oh, just don't speak on that publicly. No, let women speak on it publicly. Let women name all the instances of harassment and AB. Let them name it. And let them shame publicly the person who is doing it. Let women document publicly the things that are happening to them. Because clearly, a police report alone won't help. Begging for an order of protection won't help. You got to have video trails of things. You got to have document upon document upon documents and videos upon videos upon videos and text messages. You got to have a whole portfolio out here in this day and age. Because the same people who don't want to listen now are the same people when things escalate to a point of no return. Those are the same people who are going to say, oh my God, we never knew that it was so bad. But the woman has been telling you that for her it has been that bad for years. And y'all don't want to listen. Y'all need to take the reality TV show personality out of it. Take your dislike or your like or whatever it is because of a TV show out of it. This is real life. This is real life. And too many women go unprotected because authorities feel like, oh, a text message of him saying something, that ain't bad. Oh, him pulling up on you and telling you to fix your face, that's nothing bad. It is bad. It's not okay behavior. It's not normal behavior to be that bothersome. It's not normal behavior to be harassing somebody like that. It's not normal behavior to leave a courtroom after you just said, I plead guilty for harassment, to leave the courtroom circling the block just so you can pull up on the person who you were just found guilty of harassing to harass them again. What he did in that video was clear harassment by legal definition. And I'm glad Melody is speaking up. I'm glad she's documenting. Keep documenting. Keep showing the heights that he continues to go to try to make your life a living hell. You're walking, not bothering him. And he got to pull up on you and say something. He obviously can't let go. And that is why it's scary. He's obviously obsessed, and that is why it's scary. The girl that he with, she's obviously delusional and just as obsessed, and that is why it's scary. The history of his behavior is why it's scary. And a woman shouldn't have to explain why she is in fear when she has so much documentation She should have to explain why she's in fear when this man just left the courthouse and pleaded guilty for harassment. She should have to explain why it's scary. Common sense should prevail. For the people who are like, oh, he loves you, that's not love. That's not love. That is not love. Hi, Miss Cece. Thank you for seeing what these, sorry, I can't read it. Thank you for seeing what these dumbbells can see, and they're all females that just don't like melody. Listen, that's why I'm like, take that out of it. Just take that out of it. Like, let's just be women for a second. Let's just be human beings for a second. Hi, Nanny of the Maroons. It's so sad that Black women have to go through, especially in so-called well-developed country like the USA. I'm fortunate to live in a country where I feel very safe as a Black woman. I tell you, it's crazy. It's crazy that a man could leave court and just say, I plead guilty for harassment, and then walk outside and then continue to harass. That is crazy. You're walking around videoing her. And then when that fails to get a rise out of her, and you couldn't gaslight her into a conflict that you could, make a one-sided video for and put out there, like, see, I just left court and she's arguing with us. That didn't work. You went into your vehicle and you decided to circle and circle and circle until you found her, so that you could say some dumb ish, so that you could harass, so that you could stalk. It's craziness. It's craziness, and it needs to continuously be called out. That's how I see it, y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Please like, share, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, now called X at How I See It, and on TikTok at How I See It TV. I stand with Melody Cherie. I stand with women who are in the same position as Melody Cherie. Speak up, speak out. I've seen so many videos of women documenting the AB that they are experiencing while they were in a relationship, the verbal, the physical, and they're putting it all out there on Instagram. And I applaud them for doing that. I applaud them for speaking up. I applaud them for putting the Yelp review out there. And then the crazy thing is, there's still dumb women who say, but what did you do? He didn't just start yelling. You must have done something for him to start yelling at you, for him to say that to you. Oh, you were arguing back. Let's be our sister's keeper. Okay? Let's be our sister's keeper. Let's call out the BS when we see it. Let's applaud women for speaking up. And yes, there's some women who lie. Amber Heard. Some women who lie. But when we see women coming with their proof, and we actually see the behavior for ourselves, and we still can't call it out, there's something wrong with us. And you need to take a good look at yourself and ask yourself, why am I so male-centered that this woman can come with undisputable proof and I'm still centering a man over what she's experiencing? How can I see this man's behavior, but I'm still friends with him? I'm still friends with this ABer while I'm out here accusing my ex of being an abuser. Think about that for a second. Think about that. All right, y'all. Bye.